This is something that I wrote actually last night, and it's just about what this place means to me. And it's sort of historical. So if I can have your attention! I don't think I need the mic. The story, and I'm going to have to go over the Latino party next door. So it's called A Boy, a Wizard, and a Magical House. Hello. Hello. Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I talking too loud? Am I talking too soft? There's magic and darkness and light here this night. There's some history perhaps you should know. Please come together. I want to tell you a story, but don't worry. I'll try not to make it too long. It's the story of a shy boy, a frustrating wizard, and a truly magical house. I hope you like it. Bombs, planes, thunder noises, and finally, a blanket of chilling silence and loss began to cover the planet Earth. World War II had just ended when he was conceived. The peacefulness of his birth country was shattered as his parents tried to adjust and adapt to the cold aftermath of global human destruction. The Paris of the Middle East was the unofficial title that had been used to describe Lebanon. The small, politically stable nation was next to the amazing Mediterranean Sea. It boasted incredible Roman ruins, legal prostitution, and a love of life. But sometimes somehow that love had fled that region and most of the world. Political turmoil began to grip the unassuming nation when the boy was born. His father had been running a small, downstairs nightclub in Beirut, the capital city. His mother sang in the club when the father accompanied her on his guitar. But at war's end, an air of melancholy had descended on their little world. And then their music was made even sadder by the birth of their very, very unhealthy son. 2 years passed and his health continued to deteriorate. He had trouble breathing. He had tuberculosis and many other major maladies. He only had good vision in one eye. The Lebanese doctors said that because of his weak, deformed legs, he would probably never walk. They suggested that the boy be moved to America, where the medical care was supposedly better. He and his parents arrived and took up residence in Hollywood, California. His father, Eric, found work as a gardener by day and a musician by night. His mother, Natalie, spent most of her time taking care of the boy. Because of all his ailments, Children's Hospital was his second home. And yet, thanks to his mother's love and determination, he did learn to walk. In elementary school, he flunked second grade because he couldn't seem to learn English. So, he found a way to teach himself. He became a voracious reader. He especially loved fantasy stories. A spark of wizardry was thus born. At the age of 14, his mother allowed him to buy a bicycle. Because of that simple act, he became physically and mentally strong. He began to thrive and survive. He also learned how to be alone and not mind. At the age of 23, with money saved, he bought a property that contained a small, dilapidated house. He began to work on it, doing all the plumbing, wiring, carpentry, and decorating himself. He discovered that he had an ability to take odd objects that he found and create art out of them. He bought an adjoining property and connected another small house to the one he was already working on. The magic of transformation started growing inside of him. For over 40 years, he felt compelled by some unseen force to nurture and grow a little kingdom that he named Gemini Manor. Unknowingly, he had given birth to a magical vortex that pretended to be a house. His transformational magic became an integral part of the shows, concerts, films, and parties that he produced. He loved making people smile, and he discovered that he could envision stories and plays and films that would instantly come into being with the words that he wrote. Life is a multi-dimensional kaleidoscope of challenges and possibilities. As the years went by, the man-boy began to understand that he could mold seemingly unending misfortunes and adversities into positive possibilities. He also learned how to get past his shyness and work with and for people. By volunteering at a free clinic, he discovered that he really liked helping people in need. One day, when he was just 12 years old, he suddenly wanted to know the meaning of his name. He looked it up in a dictionary. Alexander, a defender of men. He didn't quite know what to make of it. As even more years flew by, carrying with them his undeveloped persona, he rescued an old man from a fire, saved 2 different women from assault, getting himself severely beaten in the process, saved 5 other women from suicide, and spent countless hours counseling people as to how they could overcome whatever problems they were dealing with. Unwittingly, he had become a defender of life. It felt natural to him. But the heavy surf and storms of life and death were growing stronger and threatening his own existence. He lost his beloved wife Lisa to cancer, and his treasured mother to aging. She was 101 when she died. Because of some key bad business decisions they made, the various properties that he owned were taken away from him. Many of his treasured art treasures, classic cars, and more were snatched away by conniving opportunists. It was during this crucial time that people started calling him a wizard. The title sounded strange, but somehow oddly familiar to him. Past life, maybe? He was now battling dark forces from many directions, banks, creditors, depression demons. He hated it, and yet he didn't have an urge to hide or run away either. That hadn't been his parents' way. It wasn't his way. He instinctively chose to stay and fight. The journey and not the destination has been a mantra voiced by many, many wise people. And yet, as the wizard advanced in years, he really didn't know what his destination was. He grabbed the journey ticket as he had popped out of his mother's birth canal, but had lost it without ever seeing or having it checked as to where the hell he was going. It seemed to suit him that way. His life was a messy smorgasbord of adventures, disappointments, victories, and failures. Not ever having been drawn to drugs or drinking, he became addicted to romance. Numerous women had loved him, tried to tame him, and tried to share some sanity with him. The results were mixed. His soul yearned for that special partner. An impetuous, passionate, beautiful, and extremely volatile Russian woman entered his life. He and she were both very stubborn, and yet she was also fun and charming. He named her Lady Russian Radiance. They fought and loved and said many angry words to each other. In other words, they seemed perfect for each other. Further research and exploration still continues. But now, the somewhat wizened and wrinkled wizard is approaching an important milestone. His psyche feels and knows that he's about to enter a new phase of life and living. Friday, June 17th of 2016, will be the date of his 70th birthday. Questions, decisions, which way, what now? Should he let go of all that he's created, the magical house of Gemini Manor that took him 46 years to create? The art pieces, the books, photos, memorabilia, and sentimental stuff that is now squirreled away in many dark, depressing dimensions. Lady RR and some friends have urged him to walk away from it all, start over. Exhale, breathe, exhale. Yes, my name is Alexander. I am the boy that grew up into a man who became the wizard who created Gemini Manor. I am a solitary man with many contradictions. As a writer, I enjoy listening to people's stories. I enjoy people. Despite my ways of being, I often choose directions that others find puzzling and troublesome. I can be annoying, I can be frustrating, and actually quite mad. But there are tasty elements that were born because of that cooking I did with my internal magic, fires and flames. Gemini Manor isn't simply an eclectic house and party house. It's a melting pot vortex that's managed to bring thousands of people from all over the world to a place of peace. The world wars that still continue to rage across our planet seem like distant bad dreams when guests socialize with each other at manor events. The Magic House has welcomed Christians and Jews and Muslims and drag queens and sadists and squirrels and loose women and moral Republicans and pretentious vegans and curious children. I am proud that my humble magic created such a safe, special place where violence and hate and prejudice is pushed aside in favor of music, laughter, and hugs. I'm quite proud. Never like conflicts, wars, wars between countries, individuals, couples. So, without knowing why I was doing it, I created something that became greater than a cool house for myself. It became a harmony harbor, a magnet for people in need of smiles and TLC. So now, as I reach the 7th decade of my existence, I need to bring fresh youthfulness and joy to what I should do next. I was born in the Chinese year of the dog and under the zodiac sign of Gemini. Not that any of that matters to me. My philosophical spirituality is far removed from almost anything that mankind has ever come up with. A distant forest, a pretty stream, trees and greenery, and some critters for company. Away from humans, cars, cell phones, commercials, and boob jobs and boob-like people. That's where my spirit lives and breathes. So, what does this rambling of mine have to do with any of you? Whatever decade of your own life that you're in, find the magic. I refuse to believe that not everyone has it. Don't feel it? Go for a safari. Within yourself. Within yourself. Hunt for a time in your life when you were a kid. A time when you asked many questions and were never satisfied with the answers. A time when you were really free and happy. Even if it was just for a moment. Then seize that energy, capture it, jump into that impossible dream of who you were and who you wanted to be. I promise you, that's where your own magic lives. Unlike previous years, I won't be having a big birthday party for myself on June 17th. My birthday wish had been to revisit the land of my birth, Lebanon. My parents spent many wonderful years there. My father is buried there. The fact that it's extremely dangerous for an American to be there actually makes it that much more appealing to me. Unfortunately, my present finances are upside down, and I'm still trying to create order out of the current chaos of my reality. So, for my birthday, I will escape reality, if only for a short time. I will search and hunt for the elusive destination ticket that I lost a long time ago. Perhaps I'll move to Texas, get a job in a honky-tonk bar, sweeping floors. Maybe I'll audition for a play in New York. I can easily play an old guy looking for love in all the wrong places. Or maybe I'll just go to a place in my mind that I've never been to before. Step into an alternate reality world in another dimension. I'll touch the colors of a beautiful rainbow, smell the fragrant rain in a forgotten forest, feel the breath of a hot summer night in a faraway, unexplored tropical island. I'm open. I'm ready. Can't wait to jump into the new waters. I'm actually a lousy swimmer, but I somehow always manage to bob up to the surface. I'm a lucky man. And I want to finish with a quote from Lord Byron. Life is much too important to be taken seriously. Thank you.